Myth 1, breaking a hatch under an inactive Scopo shell destroys it. I gotta make for sure not to hit the actual shield itself with the impact. And yeah, that is true. It will destroy the shield and kill the robot as well. Myth 2, Brava can hack Scopos' idle robots and turn them into cameras for her own team. So we're just gonna throw down a drone here and we're gonna hack. So you can hack it. Now what will it do? I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, so myth busted. It just destroys the shield outright. It doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't give your team any sort of information or anything. It just destroys it immediately after being hacked. Myth 3, impacts can be stopped mid-air with other objects like drones, for example. So what I'm going to do is have my Scopos here throw an impact, and I'm going to try to hit it mid-air with my drone and see if you can stop an impact that way. And yes, an object that you throw mid-air will stop an impact grenade, and what's weird is that the drone survived. So it destroyed the impact without actually destroying the drone. So I guess that means the myth is affirmed. Myth 4, Capataus crossbow bolts can be shot through bullet holes. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to put a bullet hole into this wall here, and then I'm going to aim my firebolt right into that hole. And it appears that is not the case, so myth busted. Myth 5, fire extinguishers can stop fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot my firebolt right here at the floor, and then I'm going to pop that fire extinguisher and see if it gets rid of the fire. And no, it does not get rid of the fire. The fire is still there, as you can see. So myth busted. Myth 6, you can reduce the amount of fall damage you take by landing on a deployable shield. So to test this myth, I have a deployable shield down here that I'm going to try to jump off of this object from and land on. But first, before I do that, I'm going to jump off of this and land on the ground and see how much damage I take. I took about 20 damage. So then I'm going to go back upstairs. I'm going to try to jump off this table and land on that deployable shield. And that is the myth confirmed, because as you saw, I took no damage when I landed on that deployable shield. Now, I don't know how far the limits would be, but you can definitely reduce fall damage by landing on a shield. Myth 7, hacked mute jammers can stop nitro cells in midair. So the way I've tested this is I've placed a mute jammer down right here, and then I'm going to throw a nitro cell at various places on this wall and also on the ceiling to see if it can stop a nitro cell in midair and for how far away. The first thing we're going to test is right here on this wall. It does successfully jam it. Up here, it does not successfully jam it, which means up on the ceiling it will not successfully jam it either, which means if I go and detonate this here, it will detonate the mute jammer. So this myth is somewhere in the middle. It can stop nitro cells midair if they're low to the ground. However, if they're super high up when you throw them, they'll go over the mute jammer and still be able to detonate. Myth 8, you can reinforce the Logi hatch on Clubhouse. The alleged myth going around in the R6 community is that if you throw a Kiba right here on the AC unit and then you run over and vault onto it, that you can get on the roof and go reinforce the Logi hatch. So I'm going to be testing that, obviously, by picking a zombie and throwing a Kiba onto the AC unit. And then I'm going to run outside and try to get a vault animation onto that. And it appears that myth is indeed true, because I was able to vault up on the roof, and then you can just come up here. And then once you successfully vault onto the roof, you can then reinforce the Logi hatch here. And then you just got to go back down and then breach the con wall, or you can go down here and open one of the doors to get back into the bomb site, hopefully safely. So yeah, the myth is absolutely true. Myth 9, you can use code BEAST in the CJX store. So what we're going to do is we're going to click shop. We're going to scroll down to the support a creator button. You're going to click alt. It's then going to take you to the Ubisoft Connect page. You're going to type in BEAST and click activate, and boom, the creator code is now active. So the myth is confirmed. Myth 10, ledge dropping is faster than dropping a hatch normally. So basically what this myth is saying is that if you run off an object before going into a hatch, that it's faster than just dropping a hatch normally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the hatch normally, then I'm going to drop off this object, and then I'm going to go into match replay and look at the difference. So here's the normal hatch drop, and here's the hatch drop while dropping off of an object. So now let's go into replay and look at the two of them to see if it's faster. So here's me dropping off the hatch normally. And here's me dropping off of the ledge first. So yeah, I think I'd say myth confirmed. It does seem like dropping off of a ledge is slightly faster. Myth 11, sound is louder outside after you shoot the glass on windows. So the way we're going to text this is I'm going to have my gridlock teammate who is out here. It's basically my Xbox account. I'm gonna have them run past this window, and then once they run past the window, I'm going to break the glass, and then they're gonna run back across the window, and we're gonna see if it's truly louder with the new CJX audio. I did barricade the doorway back just to be sure that there's no audio going through that. And yeah, so I'm just gonna stand right here, and then I'm gonna have my gridlock player run by. And now we're gonna have gridlock come back and break the glass. And then we're gonna have them run by again. And as you can see, I do think the glass being removed does make a huge difference in the audio. So I'm going to say myth confirmed. Myth 12, you can stop Rayora's panels from closing by throwing a gadget under it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Rayora shoot a panel onto this door, and then I'm going to throw an Elamine right here into the doorway, and I'm going to see if that stops her panel from closing. If that doesn't work, then I'll try a few more gadgets to make for sure that this myth is busted, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and have Rayora deploy her panel, and then I'm going to throw an Elamine under it right there. And I think because Rayora was too close to the door, it didn't count because it detonated. So we're going to try it on this door instead and see if it's just the mine detonates when a Rayora panel touches it, or if it was just because I had Rayora too close. Let's go ahead and have Rayora deploy her panel. And then we're going to throw an Elamine down. And so no, Elamines do not stop Rayora's panels from closing, but I want to try it with a few more gadgets. Now here's a test again, this time with Evil Eyes. So we're going to deploy the panel and then put a Maestro Evil Eye on the ground right here. If we move out of the way, the Rayora panel will keep going and will destroy the Evil Eyes. So it appears that the myth is indeed busted. Myth 13, Arooni's gates can stop a Rayora panel from being deployed. So as you can see, I have an Arooni gate right here on this door, and I'm going to try to deploy my Rayora panel and see what happens. And it appears that the myth has been busted because clearly I was able to deploy that just fine, and the Arooni gate is still intact on the other side. However, I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to try putting the Arooni gate on the other side of the door and deploying a Rayora panel and see if that works. And so this is what happens when the Arooni gate is on the other side of the door. It does stop the Rayora panel from being able to be deployed because it catches it mid-flight. However, if the Arooni gate is set up like this, it will not stop a Rayora panel from being deployed. So that means that this myth is somewhere in limbo in between busted and confirmed, because it depends on what side the Arooni gate is on. Myth 14, Clash can avoid air jabs by placing her shield down. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my Nomad here shoot an air jab down while I have my shield out. And I'm going to try to place my shield down in time so that I can avoid the air jab. So I'm going to go ahead and have Nomad shoot it while I'm placing. So time it. And no, it appears that that will not allow you to avoid an air jab. Now, if the shield is already placed, will it allow me to avoid it? Well, let's test. Yes, if the shield is already placed and you're not currently in the animation, it will allow you to avoid the air jab. So as you can see, if I move, I'll get hit by the air jab. So it appears that the myth has been busted. No matter what you do, you cannot avoid an air jab by placing the shield down with Clash. So the myth is false. Myth 15, Orgs can avoid damage from Capataus bolts by dashing through them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have Capataus deploy a firebolt in this hallway here, and then I'm just going to ram a dash through it. So let's go ahead and test this out. And as you can see, that is simply not the case. I took a decent amount of damage from that, so that is myth busted. Myth 16, you can outwalk a Thorn Razor Bloom. So I have a Razor Bloom set up right here in the hallway. I'm just going to walk straight. I'm playing Gridlock, which is a 3 armor to make it more difficult for myself. I'm just going to walk straight and see if I can outwalk this Thorn Razor Bloom. So let's go ahead. And as you can see, myth confirmed, because I was able to walk through this entire hallway and it never dealt any damage to me. Myth 17, an Evil Eye can counter a Cali charge by shooting it off of itself. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the Cali right here that's looking at me to shoot one of her lances right onto my Evil Eye, and I'm going to try to shoot it with my own laser. So let's go ahead and have her do that. And yes, it appears that that myth is confirmed, because as you just saw, I shot the Cali charge right off of my Maestro cam. Myth 18, Finka Surges removes the effects of an Echo Drone. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have this Echo Drone sitting right above me, hit me with its Sonic Boom, and then I'm going to activate my Finka Surge and see if it removes the effects of it. Let's go ahead and do it. So I've been hit by the Sonic Boom. And myth confirmed. As you saw, I got rid of all the side effects of the Echo drone. Myth 19, you take less damage from explosives while your Asus shield is out. What I'm going to have Sentry do here is I'm going to have him throw one impact grenade right at my feet, and then I'm going to have him throw another impact right at my feet while I have my Asus shield out, and we're going to see if that theory is true. So let's go ahead and throw the first one. So I got down to 85 HP, which means that I lost about 40 HP from that impact. Now, if I pull out my Asus shield, if this theory is correct, I should take less damage. So let's go ahead and test that theory by pulling out the Asus shield, crouching, and then hitting myself with an impact. And as you can see, the myth is confirmed because I took significantly less damage while the impact was being thrown at the exact same spot. Myth 20, Tubals canisters counter Damos's death marks. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the Damos that's in my game right now activate his scan, and I'm just going to throw a canister down right at my feet and see if it stops the scan from being able to occur. We're going to go ahead and send the scan out, and then I'm going to hit myself with a freeze. And as you saw, his death mark went away and the scan is no longer active, which means that the myth is confirmed. Myth 21, Maestro's evil eyes can shoot Ying's Candelas to stop them from detonating. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have Ying throw a Candela, and I'm going to open up my evil eye and try to stop it from detonating. So let me go ahead and have her throw one. Then we're going to open up the evil eye. And as you just saw, the myth is confirmed. You can shoot Ying Candelas with Maestro's evil eyes. Myth 22, you take more damage from fire while Finka Surge is active. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have Tachanka shoot his fireballs at me in the hallway. I'm going to walk through it once at full HP. Then I'm going to see how much damage I took, and then I'm going to walk through it again with the surge active. Let's go ahead and have him shoot some fire in here. And I'm going to run through it. I'm now down to 86 HP. So I'm going to use 2 surges to heal myself, and then I'll walk through it again. And now I'm going to have Tachanka shoot another set of his fireballs out here, and I'll activate a surge. And I was left at 105 HP. Finka Surges can actually help you in certain instances from taking less damage to fire because it gives you a little bit of overheal. So generally, you're actually going to benefit more from a Finka Surge if you walk through fire. However, it's never going to cause you to take more damage. So for that reason, this myth is busted. The final myth, and myth 23, is that fire extinguishers will destroy nearby gadgets. As you can see, I've stacked up a ton of gadgets in this hallway here, including the default camera that's already there. And I'm going to shoot this fire extinguisher and see if it will destroy all these gadgets. So let me go ahead and do it. And as you can see, the fire extinguisher did nothing and did not destroy any nearby gadgets. So I will say that the myth is busted. Anyways, that about wraps up today's video. Let me know if any of these myths surprised you, and let me know any myths you'd like to see in a future episode in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, I make Siege content just like this twice a week, so go subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter if you don't want to miss the next upload. Now, if you want to watch another video just like this one, a video will be popping up on your screen right now that I'm sure y'all enjoy. I'll see you next time, friends, and peace.